అక్క వాళ్ళకి కూడా వచ్చినాయి పర్లే. యాకలేదు. ఇంటి దగ్గర ఉన్నారు అందరూ, ఎక్కడ ఉన్నారు.
Hi, good evening, all. Hope you guys are good. So, we'll start today. Today, our session is all about cloud and API kind of thing. So, first, we will start to understand API. Then only you can able to understand how this kind of communication is happening in between to your cloud and electronic devices. Okay. So first we are going to understand API. So understanding API will be going to discuss with the help of Django framework. Okay. So Django is a framework which is mainly used to create a web application. So the reason I am taking Django here is first thing is you need to understand what is API. The second thing is you need to understand how the API is working. Then another important thing to understand API, we have other options as well. The reason we are going ahead with the Django is so anyhow we need some application to handle our IoT stuff. So, for that perspective, we'll be going ahead with our Django. So, this Django is a Python based framework. So, as we are going ahead with your Python, Raspberry Pi, those kind of IoT based stuffs in real time, we are just going ahead with the Python framework only. So REST API, that's nothing but a representational state transfer. That's what REST API is. So API means application programming interface. The main purpose of API is which is for to make a exchanging the data or which is used to make a communicating the data. So that's the main purpose of our API. Okay. So when you are simply going ahead with your any kind of website or it's not only website, any kind of data exchanging in applications, even our IoT, if you want to share the progress, so the progress in between two IoT device and application, or IoT device and mobile, or IoT device and push notification, whatever itself, we need to exchange the data. So that exchanging the data will happen only in JSON. Okay. JSON means JavaScript object notation. Okay. So that's how it exactly looks like. It exactly looks like Python dictionary. When we are going for JSON, this JSON is a kind of one file format. Okay. So this file format is mainly used to handle the things. So this JSON file format, which will be hardly cost for the data exchanging purpose. Okay. So JSON is an open source. You don't need to pay anything for JSON. Simply the data transforms, which will hardly went with the help of JSON only. Now we will discuss these things most. Usually in your Python, we used to convert JSON to Python dictionary, and then we will process the JSON data. Then again, what we will do is we will convert Python dictionary to JSON. Then again, we will process. So those kind of things we used to deal with. So for to handle the JSON file, we are having a JSON library. So let's we start with our API part. So when it comes to your API, so you need to get the data from various resource. Okay, so getting the data from various resource, how the data has come, from where the data has come, and what is the format of the data, and what kind of the server that you are handling the data. So all those things are very important here. So when we are going for that real-time scenario, let's we consider your Amazon application. Okay. So there is a two kind of application in Amazon. One is for seller, another one is for buyer. Okay. So when it comes to your seller, I am selling something and you are just going to buy something. So probably I am in somewhere. So the buyer is in somewhere. So now what I'm doing is I am just listing out my product. So usually Amazon is having a two kind of application. One is for seller, another one is for buyer. So seller, what they will do is they will log into their application, so they will give all their details. So what is their product and what kind of the products they need to handle, everything they used to give. After they given all those things, once I list out my product will go and save to the database. Okay. So as you are an end user, once you are searching for my particular product, it will get all my product and it will list out the thing. Okay. So this is how the things are working. Okay. So when you are just having an application, it needs a lot of input data. Okay. So when I am giving a data as an input and something is a kind of output, I need to make one communication stuff which will carry my information from backend to front end, or from database through backend to front end. So for this kind of perspective, we used to deal with API. So when you are just coming ahead with the API, mostly the data will receive with the help of server, okay, which we used to call this as a web server. Okay. So the client will request the server for the information. So as you are a client, you will request the information. So when you are requesting the information, my server will give you the response back. Okay. So this is how the data used to exchange. Okay. So when you are just sending a response to the client, usually the client response which we used to handle with the HTML format only, even in IoT as well. Okay, because the HTML is the stuff which is used to handle the JSON. Okay, so let's we handle the thing, the data which is returning to the server. The end thing you will, yeah, I'll explain again. Let's wait. See, you are just sending a data from your server to client. Okay, server means kind of some backend. Okay, let me execute Django so you guys will understand how server will looks like. So when I am sending an information from my server to client, so the client needs to get the response, so server needs to get the request. So when I am giving a request as a client, my server will respond back to that particular request. Okay, so this kind of request and response will handle with the help of HTML web page only. Okay, so when you are going for the HTML web page, the server exchanging the data will handle in the format of JSON and the XML. Okay. So when we are just going ahead with the next thing, so when you are just going ahead with this exchanging data, we need some communication stuff to exchange the data. For that communication thing is your REST API. Okay, REST API means representational state transfer. Okay, so that's what your REST API is. So when you are just sending one request, the request will send to the server with the help of this API only. Okay. So this REST API is the most used API in field. Okay, so whenever you are going for any kind of domain, you are, even if you are going for web application, or if you are going for mobile application, or if you are going for IoT, if you are going for artificial intelligence, whatever your domain is, you will definitely needs to handle the REST API. Okay, so this REST API is mainly used to handle your application with the internet. Okay, so we used to call this REST API with the language of the internet. So this REST API is mainly used for the transactions. Okay, so this REST API will give more flexibility architecture for us. So before you are starting with REST API, you need to consider some of the points. The points are, these are the kind of principles which we used to handle with REST API. So this REST API is designed in 2000 based on these principles. One is stateless, client server, uniform interface, cacheable, layered system, code and demand. So when you are going for a stateless, I am a client where I am sending a server to that, where I am sending an information to the server where my client will understand each and everything. Okay. So when I am sending one information, that information may be the part of URL as well. So about this URL, I will show you with the example. Let me first explain the theory, then I will go with the practical stuff. So when it comes to URL, that's nothing but your unique identifier for your web application. So when you are going for your URL, that URL is going to hold the response, and your body it's going to hold the information. So those kind of concept is your stateless. Client server. So this client server architecture is very important, which is going to enable a uniform interface, and it's going to separate your client from the server. So this client and the server is another important thing in your exchanging the data. Then uniform interface, that's nothing but your URL. Then cacheable. Cacheable means handling the cache memory. So this cache memory, which is mainly used for the reusing purpose for the response in your future. Then layered system. This layered system is nothing but security things. So when I am adding a more layer to my application, then only it will be fine. So this layered system is nothing but the safe for the security. Code on demand. Code on demand, that is nothing but it is actually used to write a code. So which programming language that you are going to select for your API handling. So now we are handling Python as of now. So to understand API, okay, now we are not actually discussing anything about IoT. First we are discussing about what is API. Okay, so in API, we have four things. One is CRUD. C means create, R means read, U means update, D means delete. This CURD operation is actually common for handling the API and SQL stuffs, NoSQL stuff. This four method is very, very important. So in a database, we used to tell this as a CURD, but when it comes to this HTTP method, we used to tell create for post, read for get, update for put, and delete for delete itself. This four method, post, get, put, delete, this four method is your HTTP method. Okay, so when you are dealing with your API, this four method is very, very important. So now we are going to deal with post and get. Okay, so to understand how the API is working, let's we go ahead with post and get. So this put and delete method, I will just show some screenshots so you guys will understand how this put and delete will work. So frameworks. Anyhow, in real time, 75 percentage of people are dealing with Python only. So we'll understand API with Python itself. So now framework means library. Group of libraries which is used to execute the particular things, that's what your framework is. When we are going for the framework, first I need to install the framework. See, if I am asking you to install, this is common for all kind of programming language. Okay, if I am asking you to install some software, you guys will go to the particular application, so you will install the software. But when I am asking to install the framework, you need to handle CLI. CLI means command line interface. So command line interface is what your CLI is. Okay, so we need to open a command prompt whenever you are just dealing with whenever you want to deal with any kind of frameworks. We need to go for command prompt. I'm just opening the command prompt and I'm just changing the directories to my desktop. And then first you guys needs to install Django. So I hope these steps are for if you guys know Python, so definitely you may understand the steps. So after you install Django, for me Django is already installed, so I'm just stopping the server. I don't want to wait till this install. So let me open a new command prompt and I'm just giving a desktop. Now after you install Django, what we need to do is, so when we are just going ahead with your Django, we need to go ahead with some command prompt commands. Okay, so first I need to create a project. So Django hyphen admin start project. This is a command. So after this, I'm just giving my project. So this my project is a kind of variable name. So you guys needs to handle any variable name rules to give here. Whatever name you want to give in here, that you guys needs to follow the variable name rules. So after I created this, okay, I just given some command. So now what here it will do is it will create, see here it's creating one folder. Okay, so this folder is actually a Django project. So now I got this thing is run. See, my command prompt is executed. So after it's executed, I'm just getting a my project here. So see here, I'm getting a my project here. When I'm opening it, I have a some file and I have some one more folder. If I'm opening some folder, I'm having some other files. So understanding these files, you you guys don't need to understand this thing in depth because this is for web application. So as we are going to understand only the API, I'll just give a little bit introduction about this. This manage.py is used to run the server. Okay, the server is nothing but a Django server. So what I'm just going to given here is a change directory and my project. Okay, so here you have in this folder. So in this my project folder, I have a manage.py file and I have a one more folder. So now I want to run this manage.py. So I'm just giving python manage.py run server. Sorry, I make a mistake here. So now we'll get error. So let's keep it. So yeah, so run server. Okay, so the reason I am running this server is so you guys will understand how the server looks like, because as we are discussing about client server interface, I need some kind of virtual server to run. Okay, so here I have some warnings. So these warnings are happens because of SQL. Okay, because of database. I don't want to get this warning now. So for that perspective, what I am doing here is I am just applying some kind of command. So this command is not related to IoT or not related to API. So you guys just don't need to worry about the things. So let me run this server again. So now I won't get any warning. So I'm getting a zero issues now. So see, now this is a server. Okay, see here, starting a development server at this thing. Okay, so this is one server which is giving an information at this local host. Okay, so that's what server is. Okay, so when you are going for any kind of thing, even this IoT, something will looks like a server and something will looks like a client. Okay, so server is something where it's holding all the information. Client is something which is giving an information. So let's we consider this is a server. Okay, so the server is giving some information at this local host. Okay, so let me run this local host here in your browser. Just run this. So when you are running this, some kind of application is running by default. Okay, so see, when I am giving this URL here, okay, so this is what URL I meant. So in this API principle, there is a uniform interface. So that uniform interface is actually giving this thing. So when I am giving this particular URL, this URL is getting this page. So that's what my third point is. Okay. Now let's we understand this client server. So this is your server. Okay. So see here, once I given this URL there, I'm getting a get, and here also I'm getting get, and here also I'm getting get. So get, that is nothing but what kind of information it's showing. So I'm once I given here, I'm getting some response. So getting this response is what my get method is. Okay, so this get method, that is nothing but getting a response from my client. So let's you assume this is a client. So usually what will happen, no, your HTML page is mostly as client, because we don't have any other option. We need to go ahead with these things only. So I'm just giving a backslash admin. So this backslash admins are predefined function in Django. So if you guys know Django, you may understand. As of now, I just want to show this get and post method. So once I given here admin, so I'm getting some login page. Once I'm getting a login page, see, I'm getting a get method. So if I am giving something else, so let me give some other thing. So I'm giving a sum here. So once I given a sum, anyhow we'll be getting an error only because we don't have. So not found sum, and I'm getting in this time I got a get. See, this is a get and sum. So that's what my request is. I requested for some, and then HTTP 1.1, because everything we are handling is an HTTP method. 1.1, that's nothing but the version. 404, that's nothing but server's code. We can tell this is a status code. So 404, when you are opening some web page, we used to get a 404 error, no? So that's what your 404 error is, and this is bytes. So how much bytes you want to run? So this particular page is running how much bytes in that particular set time. So that's what this thing is. Okay. So the server will track all the information here like this. Okay. So let me go back to admin again. So I just want to show how the post will work. Okay. So see here again. It comes here with this with your login page, and here this get method. So let me give some username and password. Anyhow, I don't have this username password, so this kind of username password is I didn't create any username password here. So see, I am giving a login. Now this is a client, I am a client. Okay, I am requesting login. So that means I am giving a information to my web page. Okay, once I give a login, it's going here. See, I am getting a post. See, I'm getting a post. So when you are giving some information to the server, that is a post. When server is giving some information, that's what get is. You guys understood? So when server is giving some information, that's what your get method is. When you are giving some information, that's what your post method is. Okay, so you are giving a information to this server. Okay, so what this server will do, no? So if I am having some username password, it will go and check with my database. And if I don't have the username password, so I will be getting an information here. Okay. So back end, what it will do is it will used to check. It will used to check this username and password is stored in the database from the front end. Okay. So from front end to database, I need to carry the information. So to carrying that information, I need some resource. That resource is API. So that API, we are handling a REST API. So that's what the concept here is. Let me give a one more clear example for you guys to understand your API process. See, you are going for an Amazon. You are logging into Amazon. So once I am going to, let me go for Amazon.in itself. So once you went to this Amazon.in, here nothing is there. Hello, sign in. When you are giving a sign in here, you will get your name instead of here. Then you are having a cart. So when you are going to the cart, what it will do is it will have some kind of thing. So when you are just purchasing something, what it will do, no? It will redirect to your payment gateway. Okay. See, let's you guys assume this Amazon is one server, it's one website, and the payment processing is another website. Correct? No. So probably if you are using a bank, SBI bank, your Amazon is redirecting to SBI bank. Okay. So you are giving your details. So that's what your post method is. Okay. After you given your details, you will be redirecting to the net banking. So you will be paying the amount, you will be receiving an OTP. After you given a OTP, amount is deducted from your account and it's actually adding to the seller account. Okay, so transferring the amount from your bank account to another one bank account via Amazon. Okay, so Amazon is a normal website, but to handle these things, we need some kind of API, those kind of things. So it will get the details from Amazon website and it will redirect to the bank website. So from bank website, it will again go ahead with your seller account. So that information exchanging, okay, exchanging this information, we need API. So that's what API is. So any doubt in API? You guys having any doubt in API? So what is API? You guys have any doubts, you can ask. Because we need complete Wi-Fi setup, Arduino and Ethernet shield, everything, which I don't have right now. So if you are understanding this API means, then only you can understand how the process is happening. Okay, so usually when whatever the data is, it's not about only your IoT, even for other things, whenever you are going, it will be used with the API only. Definition for API, that's nothing but application programming interface. That's what your API full form is. So you can tell this API is used to make an interaction between multiple softwares or multiple hardwares, or to exchange that information between the different servers is your API. The full form of API is application programming interface. So we have actually, whenever you are going for an API, we have a REST API, SOAP, SOAP, that's another famous API, then JSON XML. So usually this JSON XML are the format which is used to handle the API, but they used to make this types of API as a JSON and XML, but no, that's not we can tell as the types of API as JSON and XML, but we have XML and JSON RPC. That's a kind of API is also allowed. So your question is, if I am uploading a pic in FB, is it using API to access my image in my phone? Uh, it's not about only using API. See, let's you guys just assume this kind of process. Uh, it See, this is your FB web page. Okay, this AFB is actually connected with the database. Okay, so this database, previously I'm not aware of how they are handling the database, but as of now, that Facebook database, everything are stored in cloud data. Okay, so when it comes to cloud data, so simply telling, you are having on email, so how the Gmail is reflecting in your mobile, the same kind of process is actually happening here as well. So let's see, just to go ahead. So this is your FB data. So you are uploading some data. So once you uploaded the data here, it will be reflecting here. Okay, so this reflection, uh, see, even here no need of database as well. Okay, how the FB is working is, FB working principle is totally different. They are actually nowadays using an React Redux concept they are using. So for that perspective, they have a state management. So state management means, whenever you are uploading the things, it will be reflected everywhere. That is a state management. It's not exchanging the information. Okay, so exchanging an information is different. State management is different. So your FB photo reflecting is an state management concept. There is no need of API there, but FB is using an API, but this concept, reflecting your mobile data to web data to mobile, is not with API, because we are not exchanging the data. Even you are using in a different devices, which doesn't mean that exchanging the data. Only if from one server to another server. So for example, from Facebook to Amazon to Facebook. So for example, when you are going for some other web page, we used to get Google OAuth authentication, correct? No, so log in with Google, log in with Facebook. So from this web page, you are clicking that web page, login. So your login details will send it to Google. So from Google, again, you will receive the data to another web page. So exchanging that information is totally different. FB concept, this concept is not your API. This concept is a state management concept. Those concepts are totally different. Okay. Excel or cloud computing link means I'm not getting what kind of links you are getting. Okay. So for materials you are asking, or for normal things you are asking, I'm not sure. Uh, but if you want this material kind of things, this coordinator will taken care of those things. Okay. So API is what way connected to Arduino programming. That's what our next concept is. How to connect IoT and how this API is helping to exchange the information. That's what your next concept is. Okay. So in this API, I shown about only this get and post. But when it comes to put and delete, let me give a simple example for put and delete. When you are going for normal update, okay, so you are updating the information in your Insta, or you are updating your name, or you are updating the password, or you are updating the mobile number. So this all update. Okay. So how this comes with your API, uh, because from the back end, from the front end, I need to carry the information to database. So it is a part of API only. And see, when I am just doing something from front end, it will go to back end. So it will go to database. So back end will process this, sending that stuff. Okay, so API will carry the information, back end is helping API to carry the information. So this kind of process will happen. So when you are updating some name in your, like you are updating the insta username, or you are updating your Facebook, or you are updating your email ID, or you are updating something, that's all your put method. Deleting some information, so you are deleting your account, you are deleting something from your card, that's all your delete method. So this four method is your API method. Okay. So I hope you guys don't have any doubts in API. So let's we go with how to connect this API, how this API is actually helping us to having an information in your normal stuff. Okay. So this is a simple example for your sending, reading and sensor values. Okay. I don't have a Wi-Fi shield with me. We need a Wi-Fi shield to to make your IoT device to connect with your cloud. We need Wi-Fi shield. Okay, so I will tell how the processor works. As of now, you guys simply understand how the things is working. Okay, so how the detail is actually sending from one thing to another thing. Simply understand the things, that is actually more than enough for you guys as of now. Because whenever we are going ahead with exchanging information, or whenever you are going ahead with sending a data from your cloud to Arduino, or Arduino to cloud, so this is a two-way communication. We can tell this as a bi-directional communication. Okay, so cloud needs to send the information to Arduino, and Arduino needs to send the information to the cloud. These two things needs to be happen. If it's not happening means then that communication will not actually fully completed. Okay, so this must be happens. uh, 1 minute, I'm just connecting my Arduino board with my system. Give me a minute. So in this, see, when I am having some information is connected with my stuff now, what we need to do here is, whatever the information is, okay, so you can deal with any kind of information. So whatever the information is, we need to handle with your serial monitor only. Okay, so I'm just opening my senior monitor now. Let me check either some kind of, okay, let me change this board, because even changing the board, changing the port, everything is important. So it is actually in COM7. So yeah, now it's all done. So see, I'm getting some light level as 11.82, and humidity I'm getting an NAN because I didn't connect my temperature sensor. Okay, so I didn't connected my temperature sensor, but I connected only the LDR. So because I connected only LDR, I'm getting this light level. I didn't connected my temperature sensor, so I'm getting an NAN. NAN means not a number. Okay, so again, if I am resetting the button in my Arduino board, again I will get the next information. Okay, so now again the light level is something which I am getting. So previous light level is something, now the light level is something. So still humidity is in NAN only because I didn't connected my temperature sensor. That's the concept here. So now this is an one information. Okay, so this information will, if I want to send it to the cloud, how to send. So I'm just helping you guys to understand the concept. So the very first thing is, you can use a node MCU, but for node MCU we need to write some different kind of code. I will explain the code. So as of now, first I will explain how this temperature sensor is connected. So my sensor pin A0, that means I need to connect my temperature sensor with my A0, and I'm just defining this DHT pin 5 and DHT type DHT 11. So this DHT type 11 is for it's not needed, so you guys can remove this. So now this is an initial setup. Then after this initial setup, we are just going ahead with the DHT begin. So DHT begin, that is nothing but I am beginning my DHT sensor, though that's nothing but my temperature sensor. Okay, so the next thing is, in a void loop, I'm just giving my serial begin 9600. If I'm not giving, means it won't work here. Okay, so then humidity and temperature, both things we are reading. So I'm just reading the things. So the sensor value I am just processing. So this all this analog serial printing which is used to print it over here. So this humidity, that's nothing but this variable name, and this temperature, that's nothing but this variable name which I'm reading from my temperature. I'm reading from my sensor. So sensor value, I'm having an analog read sensor pin, and this light level, which is actually I'm getting some details from sensor value. So which I'm getting from my A0. So that's the thing, this formula I applied. So I'm getting a light level and I'm getting a temperature humidity level. So after I get all this information through the sensor, I got that information. Okay, so I need to connect my Arduino to cloud. That's the next concept. Okay, so let me just close this. I'm just going ahead with one more stuff. See, this kind of stuffs are needed. Okay, so either you can go ahead with the normal board. So this board is actually used to deal with your ESP8266 kind of things only. So let me go ahead with here first. So when I am just going ahead with your Arduino, we need either a ESP8266 or you need a Ethernet board. Okay, so we, as of now, I don't have the both of the boards. So then I need to configure with my Wi-Fi. Okay, so I need to configure with my Wi-Fi, my Wi-Fi name and Wi-Fi password and API key. Okay, so here in this example, I am just using this asksensors.com. Okay, so this asksensors.com is an another sensor exchanging data with your cloud. Okay, so this is an when I'm just giving this api.asksensor.com, I will be just getting the test page kind of things. So this is by default, we will get the test page. Okay, so let me go for asksensors.com. Okay, so first it is actually free. You can able to go ahead with all this kind of languages. You can go for Arduino, Raspberry Pi, and Express and a Node.js. These things are supported, and HTTP, HTTPS, MQTT, everything is supported here. So this all protocols. Okay. So apart from, I think in Raspberry Pi, if you're using, you can code it in Python. Arduino, of course, we need to handle with Arduino only. But when it comes to this Arduino, no, as of now, we don't have a Ethernet shield. So my Arduino will not connect with Wi-Fi. Because of it's not connected with Wi-Fi, I could not able to handle the things. So that's the concept. Okay. So when I am just going ahead with this program, so I have a Wi-Fi and I have a HTTP client. So this HTTP client is actually used to handle our API. So this API key in we need to get from this website. Okay. So once you log into any kind of sensor or any kind of API websites, what will happen? No, they will first ask you to create one web page. Sorry, they will first ask you to create one uh, authentication stuff. Okay. So you need to mostly we will have a free stuffs. Okay. So when you are having a free stuffs, you will have one or two device, and you will get one email alert, and then you can able to handle this kind of protocols. You don't need to read the data. You can't able to actually read the data, or you can't able to export the data. You can't able to handle the GPS tracking in this ask sensor when you are going for a free version. That's another problem. So a lot of APIs for the free versions, we won't get this kind of reading the data, exchanging the data. Okay. So, but when I am going for the simple version, what here we can do is we can able to read the data. JSON data. Okay. So how the JSON data works looks like is that's exactly looks like here. So one object colon value, object colon value, object colon value. I need to convert this data to my JSON data. So that conversion will automatically happens when I am connecting my web page into cloud. When I am connecting my IoT device to cloud, when I am connecting my IoT device to mobile app, when I am connecting my front end and back end. So when this kind of things will happen, it will automatically convert. Even your Python dictionary will automatically convert to JSON format when I am sending a details from as a Python dictionary to the cloud. So that's the automatic kind of conversion will happen with the help of HTTP protocol. So JSON data is only we can able to handle here, and data exporting, that's nothing but the final output I can able to get it in a CSV, and we have a live GPS tracking as well. So unlimited data storage also there. So this kind of things will happen for the paid version. So as we are going ahead with the free version, we can't even able to read the data. We can't able to exchange the data. So as the another disadvantages, we don't have this as of now. I don't have this. Wi-Fi board with me, so I could not, even if I'm having a Wi-Fi board also, you can't able to see the board and all those things. So that's then another problem. So let me just give a basic introduction about how this is happening. So first thing is I need to go and create a server there, that means account there. After I created the account, from the web page I will get the API key. Okay. So after I get a API key, I need to give the details here. Okay. After we given the details, everything here, what we need to do here is we need to start with our serial begin. So either my board is connected with my Wi-Fi or it's not connected with the Wi-Fi. So to understand the things we are having here. So serial begin, serial is printing, so it's actually connecting with my ESP8266, and then it's actually connecting with the SSID and the password. Then Wi-Fi status is connected or not. If it's not connected, then we'll get the dot dot symbol, otherwise it will go ahead. So like the last time we executed in node MC, so the same thing. Okay. So now in case if my Wi-Fi is connected, okay, so in case my Wi-Fi is connected, so my Wi-Fi will start to run in this particular web page. Usually when you are going for the free version, definitely that is to be a HTTP. Okay, because we can't able to get the HTTPS. That S is the secured one, which is only used to deal with your security thing. Okay, so string URL, so this all to create the URL. So the third point in the REST API, URL resource. So I need some unique URL. So this URL, that's nothing but the host, and this one, and my API key, and my module. This random, that is nothing but I am going to create some random things. So how my URL comes now? So ask sensor backslash. Now we won't get any output, but from this how it will work, host. So if my host is kind of 8000, I will get the 8000 here. And right, so here I'm using the string, so definitely I will get the string here. Right means this information is there. No, this information, while it's sending a data to my cloud, you will get something like this API key. In after I authenticated, I will get the unique API key. That API key I will be getting here. So that's I will be just giving xxx stuff now. And then module equal to 1. So when I'm just giving a module equal to 1, so whatever here I'm giving, I will be getting there. And then randomly I will get some number here in between to 10 to 100. Okay, so this is an unique URL. So in that API, when I am sending an information from one thing to another thing. Okay, so from my device to cloud, when I am sending a information, the third principle of my API is a uniform resource interface. No, so that the unique URL. So I am defining a unique URL here. So I am creating a request for my response. Okay, and then here it's everything is for serial print. So the reason everywhere we are using a serial print is, so whatever here it's happening, I want to track the changes. To track the changes, we will be handling everything here. Okay, so we are just printing the serial, then I am just using an http dot get. So dot get means getting and response, correct? No, getting and response, correct? So this variable name is holding the response. So whatever response I'm going to get it from here, that's what my http response is. Okay, get method is. So if http code is greater than 0 means I'm just going to get something else. Okay, IA in method. Where is it? IA. Where exactly this IA is? Because here we have a serial print and then HTTP code. Then HTTP code is if greater than 0. I'm just going ahead with my serial print. So this variable name. And the next thing is, in case if this is happen, no, if that HTTP code or everything is open, okay means I will be just getting the string. So this get string, that is nothing but some information. I will get it from my JSON. Okay, so whatever detail I'm getting from my JSON, I'm just getting that as a string data type. So I hope you guys know what a string data type is. So this get string means the details which I am getting from my HTTP, that I am just making as a string data type, just a conversion, type conversion. Okay, so then serial dot printing payload, that's nothing but just that whatever data I'm getting now, so I'm just printing to my serial monitor. Then if there is any error, I will get the error here, otherwise it will be end. So write interval means nothing but if it's there is any buffer kind of things, we will get it over here. So this is the code which will help us to exchange that information. So this API. Okay, so when it comes to API handling method, we need only this HTTP, that get, post, put, delete. This four method is very important to deal with our HTTP method. This get, even to deal with your exchanging the data. So API means exchanging the data between your device and your cloud. So this is how the API work, and we need a complete setup in your board. Okay, so you need a sensor, you need a node MCU, or you need a ethernet shield, or you need a raspberry pi, or you need even Arduino UNO board nowadays, which is comes with Wi-Fi enabled. We need those things, but definitely we need a Wi-Fi controlled board to handle API. The reason I'm telling we need a Wi-Fi enabled board is, um, because this Wi-Fi internet is the only one thing which is used to send that information to your server. Okay, so this ask sensor is another server. Okay, so to send that information with the help of JSON or XML, we need this ask sensor kind of thing. Apart from, we have a ThinkSpeak. So ThinkSpeaks is an another API which will help us to handle the things. So I am just giving a get started for free. So when you are just giving a get started for free, you are just getting some kind of things. So they are giving a MATLAB here, but instead of MATLAB, actually we can able to deal with other languages as well with the help of ThinkSpeak. So we can able to integrate your applications as well. Okay, so you can able to handle the HTTP as well. So handling your HTTP, handling your web application, handling your device, these three things together only you can able to connect your cloud and your device. Along with only cloud, we can't able to deal with anything. Okay, so that's the another thing. So apart from this ask sensor is actually good, one of the best API handling to deal with your IoT devices. But we need to create and set up everything. That setting up the things is very important. Okay, so you guys having any other doubts? Any other doubts in this code? Okay. So let's we go with one more API handling method. So when you are just going ahead with another API handling, uh, so this is an another code to, like we just seen this code to handle the ask sensor. Now this is an another code. Okay, so see, I have a ESP8266 DNS server, and I am having a ESP8266 web server, and then I am just setting my transmitter receiver, and I am just managing my Wi-Fi manager, everything. So we are having a multiple codes here. So all this declarations is actually we did for that particular API. Okay, this API. So this is an another platform which we can able to go ahead. Web server with node MCU, that's what now we are actually dealing with. See, web server with node MCU means the HTTP client. So last time in our node MCU session, I made one HTTP client request. So I opened the HTTP hosted there. So it will come up with one web application on off button. So that is what your web server is. That is a basic website, static website. The same method, if I am using a Django or React, then it will come as a web server. The same, instead of the normal static web page, HTML web page, if I am creating on off button in a Django web application, so Django will becomes a web server for your node MCU. The same steps only, but some kind of coding part will be different. Okay, so this is an another API which is used to handle your exchanging the data. Okay, so when you are just going ahead here, uh, it's another platform. You need to first register, then you need to get the APIs from here. So after you go ahead with all those things, it will be works fine. Okay, so it's having only 15 days of trial, where my trial is already expired, so I could not even able to log in. So I will just explain the code. So once I logged in, it will ask us to create some kind of characters and blocks for that security purpose. So whatever here we did is only for the security purpose for this things API. The next thing is, this is the host and this is the post URL. Okay, so this post URL you guys can able to use anything. This is again the third point of my web API to handle the stuffs. So the next thing is time server. So when it comes to my time server, I can able to give the timestamp. Okay, so usually in programming language, the time format we used to get in a Unix timestamp. Unix means some kind of so when you are getting some details from the cloud, you will get the times which is exactly looks like 1 2 3 4 5, like this kind of stuffs only we will get. Only this kind of method you will get instead of getting 8 a.m 12 a.m or 12 p.m. So instead of getting those kind of time format, it looks like a integer or long integer values. So we need to convert this kind of numbers to normal time method. So that's for that perspective we do have. Because when I am posting something, so for example, this is my server. In this server I posted my email and the password by this time and by this date, time, minutes, seconds, everything is there. So when I am given this to my server will convert this to that machine level language. So again I am retrieving the data from my server. I will get this kind of format as my timestamp. So usually we used to convert this kind of things to normal time. Normal time. This method is commonly available in data science, web application retrieving, or getting the log files. This is a common method, not only in IoT. In when I am just getting the details from other thing. So when I am getting the details from server, I definitely need to convert the timestamp. So this is the normal method when I'm getting the details from server. And HTTP port, I'm going to run my server in this port. And this is in character and this is in timestamp, and Wi-Fi client, I'm just having this client. So the next thing is we are just having your calculations. Okay, so this calculation is a kind of things where I just having some kind of connectivity. So some kind of real-time connectivity happens that time. So for that perspective we write this code. Okay, so this code is actually used to handle some temperature sensor and those things. We just made this kind of calculation for that requirement. After this is the configuration. So my Wi-Fi manager. So this void config mode callback. So this is actually used to handle one kind of board. So that board is different board. We didn't even handle with normal Node MCU, or we didn't handle with normal Arduino. So this is a different board. So for that board, we need to configure this callback. So after we configure this callback everything, again I am just going for the time calculation because this is the normal function which I am just handling here. So after I done with all the time calculation, so here is actually we are starting with our void setup. Okay. So in this void setup, again Wi-Fi manager is connecting. So if it's connected or it's not connected. So if it's not connected means it will reset. If it's connected means you will be getting connected here. And then again I'm just reading my analog pin. Reading an analog pin, that is nothing but I'm reading my sensor values and all those things. Then I'm just using the for loop, and then which is for the iteration purpose, because the thing which we done for this code is we connected some sensor with that analog pin. So we need to iterate the values. Iterating the values means I want to repeat the things. So for those kind of repetition we use the for loop. So then flush means I just want to flush it out the things whatever I get it from my serial. So then then the cases, everything is all the logics. So for that particular stuff we just write this logics, and here this is an actually your API part. So here we are having a postman token. So this postman is an another we can tell that as a API. Like postman is kind of API only, which is used to handle the which is used to exchange that information. So exchanging the information from one thing to another thing will be going ahead with our postman. Okay, so then again everything are same. So the most thing here we done is only for your only for our logics. So the reason I'm just showing this code is as of now, like till now I shared you guys only kind of connectivity code and kind of how to make the connection, those kind of code. Apart from in real time when you are going, you need to write the lot of logics. So when you are writing a logics and all those things, if my temperature is something less than 7, what I want to do, if my temperature is more than 7, what I want to do, so those kind of logics also we need to write. So it's not about only the connection, the sensors and all those things. Apart from in a coding we need to write lot of logics. So as you guys needs to go ahead with the logical things in each and every server. Okay, so any questions guys? uh, Postman is not a keyword. Postman is a API server, API service. So Postman is a one. See, even if you are going for a Postman Chrome install, you will get that extension. Okay, so this will actually help you to install the extension. This is a kind of one application which is used to exchange the information between this application. Guys, 1 minute, please. Yeah, guys, kindly fill out that attendance, so then I will explain this postman. Yeah, I guess you guys completed this attendance. So this postman is a kind of, you we can't tell this as an application as well. You can get this an extension kind of things. How it will work now? This is help us to uh, carry an information from your device to browser. Okay, it's not about browser, it's all about the cloud. So we can tell this postman is a API, like a REST API. This postman is also an kind of API. Okay, so which is used to carry that information. So when I am just going ahead with this API, so see here, we have this is a kind of API stuff. Okay, uh, so when I'm just going for a user template or create, no, whether I need to give a request or I need to get the collection. So the request name is I'm giving a sum and I'm just giving something else. So after I'm given it, when I'm just giving a create collections, what it will do, no, it needs to create some kind of information. So I didn't configure anything. So this is an get. So this is that unique URI. Okay, and for this get, post, put, delete, patch, head, we have a lot of things. So get method means I will get some information from this local host here. Okay, so that's what my response is. So when I am giving a send, as of now it is actually simply loading it. So I'm just getting the error. Could not get any response because as of now in this local host I don't have anything. So but previously when we are having something, no, so these are the kind of information which you used to have. So here I have a key value. So this is the JSON format. So this kind of JSON format we used to process and we used to test the things. So this postman is a API. We can't tell this as an application. So this API which is used to send and which is used to get, which is used to handle all the HTTP response in that application format. Okay, so that's what the post API is. So any other questions, guys? So when you are going for an interview, so as an see we done one project, the project called Pluggo. Okay, so I guess if you guys went for malls or somewhere, you will see the Pluggo part there. Okay, I think in Forum Mall they hosted it. That's Pluggo is a kind of one small battery stuff. Okay, so what you can do is you can rent a power bank. Simply renting a power bank is what the Pluggo project is. So they used to put this power bank in the malls. So if you are going there, first you need to download the Pluggo application. After you downloaded the Pluggo application, you can able to scan your QR code. Once you scanned, you can able to get some. You can able to get that. Power bank from there, so like a bounce. Okay, so when you are just going and scan the QR code or giving an OTP, then the bounce bike will start. The same kind of plug go also the same. So when once you scan the QR code, I can able to get the things. So for the scanning the QR code, we need to handle the camera images. So to handle the camera images, we need image analytics. Okay, so after I scan the QR code, I'm getting an API, or sorry, I'm getting an OTP, or I'm getting some kind of authentication message. So those authentication message is used, will handle with the help of API. Okay. So after we processed all those things, okay, after we processed almost all those things, what we need to do here is we need to uh, make notes, or we need to track the usage. So for example, once I get that power bank, now I need to track how much harsh I'm handling that power bank with me. Okay, so that much charge. Okay, I need to charge for that much charge. So for example, if I'm holding the power bank for 60 minutes, I will charge for 60 rupees. So for this handling the purpose, I need some coding part there. So the time handling kind of coding part I need there. Okay, so that thing will be see, when I am renting my power bank from Forum Mall, and again I am just pasting it, I am just putting it again in some other mall after 2 days. The 2 days I need to track that power bank is in that with me, and I need to track with my IP address. Okay, so to track with the IP address or to track with my device IP, I need networking. Okay, so for the scanning and all those things, I need image analytics, and to handle the process and all those things, we need API. Apart from I need the battery to be charged, the power bank to be charged all the time, so I need a battery. So that's not a IoT project, but when you are entering into an IoT company, this kind of projects also be there. Okay, this is also the part of IoT, but not the complete IoT. um, Partially they used it to tell us an IoT project, but this all kind of renewable projects. So this kind of renewable projects also there. So to handle this kind of renewable projects, so for example, nowadays battery bikes are there, no? So for battery bikes, charging the battery bikes and all those things, again we need the charging center. So for this kind of renewal projects also, electronics department is mandatory. So for that we need to create an application, so for that we need to handle the battery backup and all those things. So coding is very important part for the electronics people. So you guys may strong in what to say, you guys may strong in circuit designing and all those things, but with the circuit design we can't able to achieve anything. So coding is very important. Not only even that circuit coding, if you know the complete full stack coding as well, that will be more good. Either choose your career in a full stack IoT or choose your career in an AI IoT. So this two things is going to be rule the world for next in upcoming future. So coming back to this cloud and all those things, we have a lot of cloud part. So now whatever we are handling in the cloud is only exchanging the data. So for the exchanging the data, I don't want much knowledge on cloud. But when you are going for interacting the details, or when you are just going to handle the complete cloud part, when you are going to manage the data in the cloud, we need infrastructure or those kind of stuffs. So that is totally different. So when you are going for an IoT, either to choose IoT with AI or IoT with full stack will be the best domain. So for that perspective, you guys needs to learn at least 4 to 5 languages. If you are going for AI, means you need to know about the neural networks, image analytics, data analytics, data processing, data visualization, everything is mandatory. So that's the concept. So mostly the image analytics will be handled with the help of Raspberry Pi, because that's a small CPU, no? So we can easily manage the things, and camera peripherals are easily you can able to connect. But Arduino, if you are going for camera connectivity, will be very difficult. So that's the reason we used to go ahead with your Raspberry Pi for those kind of projects. So this is the latest project which we done before COVID. So after COVID, so mostly all the startups and IoTs are downhill. But after once the situations becomes normal, we'll get more openings for IoT, AI, those kind of domains only. So any other questions? See, from your device. Okay, so for example, from your device, so from your Arduino, from your Arduino, this serial monitor to this cloud, to this thing speak, or to this ask sensor, or to this things IO, I need to give the information. Okay, to handle, to communicate, or to carry an information, we need this postman. That's the concept. Okay, so you can use a Postman API or you can use a Rusty API. Okay, you can use any API. Postman API means we have this kind of application, but for Rusty API we don't have applications. We need to handle everything with code only. So mostly people prefer Postman in real time as well because it's having an application, no? So the coding part will be reduced. So for that perspective, even web, mobile, and this IoT, we used to handle with Postman. So coding part will be less. But if you are choosing a REST API, we don't get this kind of application. So we will go ahead with the coding part. So that's the difference. Both are APIs only. So any other questions? Security. Security thing here is as we are getting the paid version from cloud and all those things, we get everything in a HTTPS itself. Again, the same. So as you are getting everything in a HTTPS, it's already secured. But still, we need to increase the security stuffs. Okay, so that's the concept. Okay, so when you are simply going ahead with this normal stuff, we will get everything in a HTTP, so anyone can easily track. But when you are going for HTTPS, actually your data is secured. So how we can tell here, the example is, so you are logging to payment gateway and you are giving your credit card details, everything to Zomato or Amazon, any kind of applications we are giving, no? So that application will handling your data securely. So the same concept only as of now we are implementing in IoT. Okay, when I am giving and my information will be secured like the same kind of method how we are securing with your that normal application handling the credit card details. But privacy is the more most concern as of now in IoT. Security wise, it's all good. Like the normal application security is as of now we are handling. But in future, we need to definitely increase the security because we don't have a privacy. The privacy is that main drawback in IoT. Because when IoT is completely implemented, you can't able to get this privacy part. So privacy is the main concern. Security wise, it's all good. Like our HTTPS, as I told, handling your credit card details in that applications, how secured is it? The same kind of security stuff we will be handling it. Still, that's not secured. Anyhow, our data are actually centralized, so anyone can access it, but still we have some kind of security stuff, no? Even if I am hacking your stuff, you will get the OTP before I am processing the card. So security lacks are there. Honestly speaking, we have a security lacks. Okay, so the difference between REST and Postman API, see, the first difference is REST API needs your coding part more, but when it comes to your post API, it doesn't need that much stuff. Okay, simply telling, your REST API is a kind of core API where your Postman is not. Okay, so some people's what we can tell here is we will get some virtual kind of things in your postman, but we won't get that much stuffs in your what to say, in your REST API. Okay, in other words, what we can tell here is, mm, see, I will tell you, your postman is actually working in the concept of REST API only. Okay, so sending an information between your two protocols, it's need a SOAP or it need a REST. Actually, your postman is working along with the REST API. Okay, so your postman is a data driven mostly for testing future, but this REST API is actually used to handle with your development part. And then, yeah, simply telling, you will be getting only the coding part for REST API. Postman is working based on REST API, where you will be getting your what to say, you will be getting your extension kind of things here. Postman is based on JavaScript, where REST API is based on, I guess, only this JSON, XML kind of things. So it's a free of cost. That's all the difference. And of course, REST API is also free of cost. We can able to use a REST API with the Postman. Postman is a kind of extension or application where you are using a REST SOAP, any kind of APIs. That's the actual concept. In other words, how we can tell here now, postman is a tool which is used to handle the REST API. We can tell something like that. Apart from postman, we do have other tools as well, like a swagger, and then I think swagger is another tool. So we can tell, it's a tool to handle your REST or SOAP API. Postman is only used to handle your REST API, not for other APIs. And this is mainly used for the testing purpose. So any other questions? Okay, I guess it's good to wind up. So when you want to really go ahead with IoT, simply learning only the coding part will not be enough. You need to get the complete lab setup. That's another thing. See, we are not storing any data in Postman. Okay, so storing the data is something we need the database. But when you are going for, see, I want to send the data from my backend to database, so I need a API for this communication. So that API tool is your Postman. So you are not going to store anything in your Postman. Okay, so it's a kind of exchanging that information, so we don't need a storage access there. So we definitely don't need any storage access there. Okay, so exchanging information is different, storing is different. See, we need your coding part Python. That's everything is a open source, so software is not a big deal. You need a Raspberry Pi. You need minimum 4 5 sensors, and then you need that circuit design knowledge. So that's all your own stuff. Then you need this cloud accessing everything. Then Raspberry Pi monitor. So this basic things is more than enough. You don't need to spend too much of things. This basic things is more than enough. But Raspberry Pi is very important. Okay, guys. So okay, I guess you guys are good to go. So we just to discuss only the basic introduction and overview in case if you want to do some projects. Okay. Simple connections of sensors is more than enough. See, the logic is very simple. You need one input, you need something to process, and you need one output. That's it. How you are going to process, for that you need to write a code. And that input, either you need a sensor or something, and the output, mostly nowadays we are handling with the cloud only. Output will be the monitoring tool. So instead of LED, LCD, you can go ahead with the monitoring tools. So that could be more than enough. Okay. So I think we are good to wind up. So either go in IoT full stack or AA, you guys will get better opportunity. So thanks for your time, guys. All the best. Thank you. So your question is socket test is useful. Of course, it's useful, but if you are going in a network testing field, if you are going with network testing field, socket testing is useful. But for the development, we don't need the testing part. If you are going for the development, go with only development. If you're going for the testing, go ahead with only testing. That's that one and only logic. Okay, guys, then all the best. Thank you.